Good afternoon, church. For those who do not know who I am, my name is Sharon Kim, and I stand here filled with so much joy and gratitude for the amazing opportunity I've been given to see what God is doing beyond New York and America. After a health incident that happened on my last mission trip 12 years ago, and after becoming a mom, I never imagined I would go on foreign missions again. But last year, I felt a conviction to go. I definitely struggled with the decision, going back and forth on whether I made the right choice. I was playing a game of what ifs, and I was feeling anxious. But as I was studying Matthew at the time, Matthew 8:22 really spoke to me. Follow me and lead the dead to bury their own dead. God opened an opportunity, and I wanted to be obedient and go in faith. I started to feel more excited as the day was approaching. I am so humbled and thankful for the opportunity to witness what God is doing in Africa. God revealed how broken and lost people are without the gospel truth, and became more clear that it is through the preaching of the word that there can be real hope. Despite the lack of education and resources, it was so encouraging to see people really breaking free from the lies they've been taught and desiring to study scripture. My heart really rejoiced and swelled seeing their hunger for the word and really submitting to the authority of scripture. I really believe and trust that God has sown the imperishable seed in some of the African brothers and sisters. When we gifted the ESV study Bibles, after spending 7 days together, I saw how they were genuinely so excited to receive it. This made me realize how much I really take things for granted here in America. Their eagerness and desire to study spurred me to really treasure and study the word even more diligently to be better equipped in partaking in building his church. God was really clarifying what the church really means to me through this trip. I personally was able to testify in front of 80 African pastors what God has done in my life through the church. It's become a greater reality that I want to be part of God building his church wherever I'm called. God, who is the God of history, who called the prophets and the early Christians is the same God who calls each and every single one of us today. He has been working to build his church then, and he continues to build his church today. In order to be useful for building his church, God was really speaking to me through 1 Peter. In 1 Peter 1:13, Peter, speaking to the early Christians who were living in persecution, spurs them to prepare their mind for action, be sober-minded, and set their hope fully on Christ. It's becoming more clear that I want to simplify my life and cut out anything that will hinder me from fully committing my life to Christ. Seeing the catacombs where the early Christians lived, worshipped, and were persecuted really painted a clearer picture of what kind of manner the early Christians lived. I desire to be better equipped by diligently studying the word and leading others in doing the same. I pray that he continues to use my life for his kingdom and build his church. Thank you.